All right, welcome to Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. Today we're gonna put up or assemble one of these pyramid heaters by Lausaint Home. I wanted to make this video simply because I built this one and put it together, but I made a lot of mistakes. These guys put a really good job in putting this installation manual together, but that typical man like me chose to kind of skip around a little bit and not really read the instruction manual. So you really want to be able to, or you want to read this instruction manual. It's really easy to read and go through and go step by step in putting this together, and it will save you 30-45 minutes of assembling and deassembling for something that you should have just found in this manual. So we're gonna go ahead and go through and assemble another one. This is my second one. Obviously the first one was already done, and a lot of the things that happens what takes a lot of time basically is unpacking a lot of this stuff. But once you unpack it and put it together, it really isn't that hard. It's pretty simple. Again, read the manual. Don't be that typical man and think that you can put this thing together pretty quickly by not reading it. Again, like I said, it was simple. They have a packaging for the accessories and the tools that you're gonna need. It even comes with a screwdriver, which I didn't use. I used my own, and then a wrench, which I used my socket wrench, which that one at least you can do. But you can get away with doing everything with all the stuff that they have here. You're also going to need a ladder, box knife to obviously cut the box and open some of the packaging. Some of it you need to make sure that you are careful, because you don't want to cut through and damage the finish on this thing. So again, I'm gonna unpack this, show you some step-by-steps. I'm not gonna bore you with turning the screws, but I'm just gonna hit you with a little bit of everything, so on those steps, so we can make this easy for you. But if you read the manual, you can get away with it with not even watching this video. Just read the manual. And then secondly, I'll just give you some of the things that I already learned to make sure that you put it together easily without having to fudge around and guess how it's supposed to be, because I made a lot of assumptions here. So so you'll see what I'm talking about once I unpack this. So let's go ahead and unpack this, and basically yeah, it comes in a box like this. It's 60 pounds, and yeah, fairly easy to do and unpack too, because everything is here. And once you open the box, they have a good packing and packing boxes that protects all the content. So again, you're gonna need this box cutter. And the first thing what's gonna happen is once you open it up, hey, guess what? The manual's right here. Read the manual. Secondly, once you open it, first thing that's gonna come out is a long box like this. This is actually the glass. That glass that's here. You want to put that away for a sec. And so keep it safe, don't let it fall, but it is very protected, so even if it does fall, it's okay. There's some packing stuff, materials like this. You can put it away. A small box like this. This is one of the units here. And then this is the base that we're gonna be putting together. Again, there's really only like 7 or 8 steps to put this thing together. So it's very, very easy, if you make it easy on yourself, to read the manual and see the instructions. The instructions have a lot of pictures. That's why I assumed I can do it easily. But if you look carefully, there's things that you're supposed to be putting, as far as putting it together, where it's actually reversed, but I didn't look at it, so that's the reason why. Okay, so here's the bottom grill. These pieces. Again, unpacking these things, that's probably the most time-consuming. Wheels, the cover, you can put that away. The top part of the furnace here. The grills there. And then you want to flip this thing, and again also cut through this part of the packaging. Sorry, I know that this is boring, but at least you know what's in the packaging. At least on this brand, and I found it to be actually really nice. The fit and finish on these things are actually very, very, very good. So you shouldn't have a problem with trying to fit something together, because it just assembles really nicely, at least for this Lausaint home pyramid heater. Okay, so that's all the packaging that we have. And then, so again, I won't bore you with some stuff, but I'm just gonna keep pausing and then filming some of this stuff that we're gonna put together. So the first thing is the wheels, and then the bottom piece, and that should be here. And again, easy to put together. So, all right, so step one. All right, here we go. Here's some of the information. So, give you a component list of what's inside the packaging. Give you a tools that you may need, whether it's a screwdriver, but they have a screwdriver in that package. Your ladder. An electric screw, you don't need it. I did everything on the manual. Then the biggest thing is making sure that you're looking at the parts list and following the parts list. And so we can just locate this part list. For now, I'm going to take this out, and the base and the top is here. Okay, so the top is here, and the base. So when you take it out, all right, this is the most important part here. It's the parts. All right, first there's writing on the back, and then there's also writing in the front. And this is where I screwed up a lot, is because I assumed some of these screws are what I need, but I used the wrong screws in different places. So make sure you know that it says here like M5 times 12 or screw 3/16. These are the two most important, and that's what you're gonna be like using most of the time. But again, it's this is perforated, so it's easy to pull out, but I use the box cutter to open these, but you can certainly kind of force it, but you know, again, it's up to you. But anyway, this is really the most important, and please read the parts. it will save so much time. Okay, so there's that. At the bottom, the top. Again, I'll show you that this is, you're gonna have to peel the cover here. That takes a while. So again, that's where it's gonna take some time, but if that was already done, it would be much faster. Here's the base, and then the strap inside. So put that away, and let's put at least the base together for right now, because that's what's on the first page of the manual. Is a picture of the base as well as the wheel and the screws that you're going to need, which is the M6 × 10 bolts and the nut for it, and that is already here. That set goes together with this, so let's put that together and go through it. So let me pause this. All right, so here's the set of bolts for this. Very easy. Nut, bolt, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's already shaped for you as far as how it goes down, and it just goes together through here. And bolt. All right, so I'm gonna do all 4 and finish that up. All right, now that I've got all 4 nuts and bolts here, make sure you just hold on to the top part, and then you could just tighten it nicely, putting some resistance on the other side, because it'll just continue to spin if you don't hold it in place. So that's the only way you could do it. Sure. All right, so that's the first part of this. Goes down like that, and it's on an angle. So that's step 1. Step 2 is your middle piece, which is the furnace part of it, and it's in this box. Again, pretty easy to put together. It will use, it will show you to put the battery in. That's the one I'm skipping because I don't want to put the battery in yet, but it does come with a battery right there. That one I kind of pretty much will skip, so because you can do that at any time. I'll just show you the furnace part of it. So we can see where the battery goes. Okay, and the battery goes in here. If you unscrew it, it goes in there, and then you just close it. Yeah, that one you can truly skip. All right. So we'll put this away again for now, and then what you will now open up are these long brackets. So there are shorter brackets and longer brackets. The one that you're going to use for the bottom are the shorter brackets. Yeah, at first I was like, what? Which one is which? And you'll see the short ones have these protruding metal, and they protect this really nicely. When you do cut through the protective cardboard, just make sure you don't gouge your pieces. So you're either gonna just be really careful just cutting the tape, or use something else, but or just make sure you're careful so you don't gouge the metal. And then you've got your long ones here, which you'll use later on. So the first one is the short one. So I'll unpack this and we'll pause it here. All right, step 2.2 is what they call it, is put what they call the ground fixer to the bottom feet or lower support. First, I assumed because there were like a curve that it would go on the curved side like this. No, it's actually the opposite. So again, make sure you follow the instructions that this is actually, if you can see this, it's actually this way, not this way. Okay, that's like, it'll save you a lot of time, because I had to again do it twice because I did it backwards. So make sure the hump is opposite of the circular part of this. I don't know why they did this. They could have just squared off this, but they didn't. So that's basically that was a mystery for me. So I guess it doesn't matter. Just put it the right way. So all of this has to be this way with the circular and this out. All right, so I'll do that for all four and I'll pause it. Okay, I've got these things on the bottom put together. All four of them are on tightly. Alert, alert. You're gonna use, okay, based on the manual here, you're gonna use the M5 12 screws, okay? M5 12 screws, not these screws. I assumed it was this one, screwed it up. M5 screws, you're gonna use 4 of them. Basically, there is a little kind of way you can put it where it has a bigger hole, and then there's this tab right here, or this mount, and it's literally gonna go in and up. And now you've got a hole like this here on this side. Do not put these screws in. It's the inside that you're going to use these M5 screws inside. Okay, so basically, again, if we did all 4 of these, screwed it up again because earlier I put all these screws on the sides and they weren't supposed to be screwed on. These screws go in here inside, and that's the one that's going to get tightened first on all 4 sides. So follow the instructions just like that. Oops. All right, just like that. Okay, so the ones that inside go in first before anything else. Do not screw these anything else but those 4. All right, finish this up. Okay, now that we've got it all mounted here, instruction 2.4 or step 2.4 is to put the furnace here. Caution again, make sure it's opposite of the wheels from the control. Do not put it where the control is in the same direction as the wheel. You have to make sure that it's opposite, or else now you're gonna be like, you don't want to make that mistake. Here again, it's pretty simple. You are going to be able to slip these in. Again, the mounting holes here or here lines up with these. Again, pretty simple. Oops. Ooh. About that. I'm gonna go in. Slides right in. All right, again, the fit and finish of these things are really nice. The screws you're going to use is the same M5 screws, 4 of these, and it's going to go inside on the bottom inside part of this thing. So let's do a really quick look. It's going to go in here. Obviously on all 4 sides you're gonna have the same thing, but they go in on those. Okay, so again, won't bore you with screwing these things on, but that's just make sure that you're screwing in the right screws into there, because if you use the other ones it will fit, but it'll just feel like this is not, it's, again, I used it and I had to unscrew it, so make sure you don't make the same mistake for these, and that's it. Okay, last screw under here. They give you this screwdriver, and it's really nice because it's actually a small nubbin screwdriver, which comes in handy in the future for me, and it gives you a lot of space here to really screw it in, because using the long one you kind of have to be at an angle, so this really works out for putting this thing together. Tighten it all up, and so we're done with putting this together. Let's see what the next step is. All right, 2.4. Again, making sure that the control is in the front, the wheels are in the back. All right, next step is the support for the gas tank. So this one's pretty simple. We're going to use the same, again, the same screws for this inside. Okay, this is what it looks like unpackaged. Then you're going to make sure that the belt is in the front and it fits right on the bottom. There are screws there where you can put the screws dedicated for that. Same screws, the M5 times 12 screws, basically goes right in. Pretty simple. Again, you can use your nubbin screws, but this one, it's easier if you have a long one, a long screwdriver or Phillips screwdriver, much easier. fits right in. Okay. Now it's not a problem. Next step with this is now we're going to use the long upper support. There's 4 of these, and as you can see there, up there, same thing. Just make sure that the when you're unpackaging these things, if you're going to use any kind of sharp object, make sure that it doesn't penetrate through the plastic and ruin your or gouge your finish. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll go and pause this now. Okay, now that these things are unpackaged, you'll notice on one side there's no holes here, but there are 2 holes down here. So the way you insert this is you literally put this a protruding piece of metal into the hole with the 2 holes, and it fits right in. It's really nice. It's a really nice fit. So there's really no mistaking it in putting these things together, because it really does go in perfectly. So it's again, they did a really good job in making this thing work and put it together. Let's see here. That was step. This is step 3.1 now, what they call it. And again, using the same screws, M5, and there should be 8 pieces left on your packaging. So if we put it 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, that's it, 8, and we'll again put these things together with 2 screws on the bottom of each of these supports. All right. Okay, step, let's see here. Step 3.2 is the top plate. Looks like this. Very simple again. Hardest part on this is when you kind of fit it in between, and you got to just make sure that you screw down these things on the metal pieces, but you don't want to tighten each one. What you want to do is you kind of want to just put it in on each one, so it kind of puts itself in place. So basically, you don't want to screw one on and then tighten it and then go to the next one and try to put another screw in. It's just a nightmare because it won't fit, or you're gonna have a harder time screwing it down. So I suggest if you can put one in, just lightly or loose, and then just go around and put all 8 of the screws, which is, now we're going to be using the 3/16 screws. Again, it'll tell you on the manual that it's the 3/16 screws, and you're going to need 8, and you're going to put it on 2 on each side or 2 on each pole, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, pause this. All right, so we put this on top. Like I said, my suggestion is once you put in a screw, you can just hand tighten it, or just don't screw it all the way in. Just kind of put it in there until you put all 8 screws in, so it'll align itself much easier rather than you forcing it in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all 8, and then once you have all 8, then you can pretty much tighten it all together. But for now, how it's kind of loose, just put it in and don't screw it tightly until you have all 8 screws in. Okay, so that's just again my suggestion, so you're not having a hard time aligning this thing and it becomes a nightmare. It'll save you like at least 5-6 minutes of time. The assembly says 90 minutes, but if you have some of these suggestions already done in place, or one is unpackaged, secondly, you know, kind of follow a little bit of my suggestions, it makes it a lot easier, and it'll save you, I would say, 30 minutes. All right, step 4.1, the reflector. It's got this plastic that's you know, on there for protection. Again, alert suggestion is when you peel this off, you can peel a part of it off. At least from the inside, it's pretty simple. You just take it off, right? On the top part, see how they're inside as far as the plastic goes? My suggestion is peel off a portion of it like this, and try not to peel around it. Just peel it from the bottom and it should come right off, because if you try to keep trying to do this, it's going to take you a lot of time. So just take a corner, pull it out just like that. All right, and do the same thing. Do the same thing in the back or the bottom, and it comes all right off. All right, so alert on this thing, alert is you're going to be using these studs that are on top and these wing nuts. The alert part is don't forget the washer. Here it says it right there, washer, but I didn't look at it, I didn't read it, so I put it up there, I put it together, then I'm like, oh, you needed the washer. So again, another piece of advice, make sure you look at the whole entire thing, read the instructions, and it'll show you that there's a piece of washer that goes in between the studs, the reflector, and the wing nuts. All right, so there's one on the bottom, one on top, then the wing nut goes on top. So again, won't bore you on the process, and I'll just put it all together, unpeel this, and then we'll go up and show you what I'm talking about in a sec. All right, we're on this top part where the reflector is supposed to be installed. You're gonna have these studs. There's 3 of them, and you're gonna put this pretty much as a hand tighten. I don't think you need to tighten it with anything else, but you just hand tighten it. And then remember I said about the washer goes like that. The reflector then gets installed on top, and you have another washer that goes like that, and then your other screw goes on top like that. Anyway, just wanted to show you that because again, I installed it the wrong way to where I forgot the washer. So do it properly. Make sure you take off the plastic. Don't be that guy who wants to keep it all nice, but the plastic's there, then it's just gonna kind of melt once you turn on your furnace. So I'll go ahead and finish this off, put all 3 posts and put it all together. All right, we're on the reflector, making sure you install it correctly. If you just mount this any which way, it's gonna come out to where you're gonna have a different angle. So make sure you're just square, and it's gonna be, one side is gonna be pretty much square because there's 3 holes here, and if you put the hole in the wrong place, it's gonna be like this. So make sure it's lined up correctly, and all 3. See how this, I'm trying to fit this. This is the wrong way to do it. And if you line it up correctly, it will be square. It'll be square with your entire. Yep. There it is. Washer. And then the nut screws right in. All right, and there's 3 of them. So that's it. That's how it's gonna look. Okay, it's glass installation time. That is the next step that we have. It's 5.1, and what it makes sure, what you need to make sure is that there's a silicone ring that goes on the bottom. Don't forget that. This piece of CNF, this is the one that we needed to make sure that it's kept in place safely. But it comes in this highly protected by a big piece of styrofoam on both sides. This is what it looks like. I suggest you use gloves so you don't mark up your, or you don't put a lot of fingerprints on the glass. I mean, it's not a necessity, but again, that's just my suggestion. So that's what it looks like this. And then it comes with a silicone piece like that. Hope you're seeing that, or that it's showing up. Oh. All right, this thing goes on the bottom of this thing. I want you to make sure that that is there in place. This one's pretty simple. You put this up first. Oh, there's a little tab there that's way. So let's see if we can just make sure it's not. Maybe I have to put it on this side instead, so it pushes against it. There you go. Goes up, over, and in place. All right, sorry that took a little bit of time, but I just needed to make sure that there's like little tabs up there that ensures that it's in the right place, and it has some wiggle room to not hit the sides of the metal. There you go. So that's that step, and now the next step is putting the grills. That one's pretty easy. Again, just unpackaging it. It's got little hooks. You're gonna use the 3/16 screws and these little support pieces. They're calling it brackets. It's a bracket. Anyway, Let's take a look at that in a sec. Okay, here are the grills. There's 4 of these, and it's got hooks up here in the middle and on the bottom. You simply line it up with the holes, and then it pretty much goes down like that, and it locks in place. And then you're going to use these 4 brackets to screw up up there with your with the supplied screws. Again, these are the 3/16 screws, so we'll put that all together on all 4 sides, and we're good to go. Okay, last bracket to put in. Just make sure the indentation is going this way and not backwards, because it pretty much supports, or actually keeps this in place. So make sure that the bow is on the outside. Simply screw it in, and it keeps the grills in place. And keeps it from coming up like that. All right, anyway, we got the last step is the bottom pieces. Almost there. All right, we're on step 7, which is the protective cover on the bottom part. So there's 3 of these and 1 of these that has a solid front. Make sure this is the one that goes for the front part where the control is at. You're going to be putting the knob here, and it's magnetized as well to keep that, so you can pull it and put your gas tank in. And so you just got to make sure that that's the case, where you have this in the front, and you put the 3 with the vents on all other sides. Okay. All right, we're using 16 of these what do you call this, 3/16 screws to put these in. The way you want to put it in, there's 3 on each side. So this goes over the top like this. I don't know if you can see this, hopefully you can. And it just goes over, and then you line it up. You put your screws in. And again, I would suggest that you don't tighten it too tight until you have all 6 screws in, so you can kind of wiggle it in place, so you're not having a hard time screwing it in, because that can be a pain in the butt, and then you're going to unscrew it anyway. So just screw it in place until you have all 6 screws on each side, and then you can tighten it. Okay, last part of this is the knob. It's in the packaging. It looks like this. It's got a screw already in place. You simply put the big washer in the back, so. You got your screw, this, and then you got your knob on the other side. You can just hand tighten it from the other side. And then tighten it from the back. And what you'll notice is on the bottom, there are 2 tabs that actually go in the bottom piece like that. And then it's got a magnet. one side. There you go. So that is pretty much it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, again, put this thing together for you, so if I can be of help of giving you a little bit of assistance on making sure you can put this thing together pretty quickly. This was a 45-minute video, but you could do this now in 30 minutes if you have just some of the hints there, and yeah, and making it easier for you. Instead of 90 minutes, you probably put it together between 30 and 45 minutes. All right, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and possibly join the channel. That's Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right.